being here. And I'm going to pop the Padlet link in the chat. But first, I just wanted to give a little bit of why I wanted to do this. And so, like all of you, hopefully you got your supplies in the mail. Did anybody not get their supplies in the mail from Neuland? Looks like Brandy has her cover. So I got these, and excellent. And with an email that had a link to Guido's blog posts. And I read the blog posts and I started using the materials and I got stuck. And I was like, oh no, I'm stuck. What do I do? And so I reached out to Michelle Blau at Neuland and I said, does anybody else have these supplies? And she said, oh yeah, we sent them to all the tool masters and the ambassadors. And I immediately wrote down my favorite ambassadors and tool masters, like right off the top of my head. So you're all here. And then I went online and I was like, I want to make sure there's still ambassadors. And I just learned that same week then, Francesco, you became an ambassador very recently, right? Or at
Yeah, a
least it was
couple of weeks
announced
ago.
recently.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And that's when all of this happened. So congratulations, welcome to the family. I don't know if any of us have ever really gotten together before as a group in any way. Maybe that happens elsewhere, but I just went, I got to find out what other people are doing. So I got stuck. As soon as I sent out the email, I went to my studio and I just got a flood of ideas and inspiration. I went, oh, well, I can't wait to see what everybody else is doing. And so I created the Padlet just so that we could start throwing some ideas up in a place where we could all find them and work asynchronously if we want. And so here we are. So I would love, I was going to plan on some breakouts, but since it's just us, I have 3 questions. If you can, click on that Padlet and I turn them into columns. And I just love to discuss some of these things in terms of, and what's been your experience so far? And if you have no experience so far working with these materials, then what kind of questions do we have, or what kind of things are we thinking about? This is just let's just get warmed up, and we're all facilitators here. So if you feel like you want to jump in and take over, go for it. This is a very loose plan.
Excellent. But I appreciate you having some shape to this and having these questions for us.
Right.
Because I know I'm always thinking about 1,000 other things. And I'm like, once I get on the call, then I can focus on this. So thank you for making this space.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So is
I have a question under the question.
Yeah.
And when I see that group of 3 with the white one, the pink and the empty one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming you mix the inks or not? You prepare a new marker with. See what I tried exploring. That for me, what inspired me. Hello, Axel.
Hi. I'll just show this. Yeah. So you're talking about this image here.
Exactly. And
yeah.
And for me, what I felt when with the white markers, it's like for me they create like, when you're painting with oil paints or you put a white underneath and then on top of some color and then you put the other color on top. So somehow I've been exploring that in graphic recording, which is challenging because I go quite fast, but still, and I have done little things. Maybe I should remove my background, which I put to honor Heather because we shared that.
Yeah, that's our graphic recording from Zandra and I. So welcome, Axel. We're looking at this Padlet, and there's some questions there. Anybody can answer those while other folks are talking, just a place for us to gather. But yes, tell us, Elena.
Yeah, so I was playing this like this way, like I used the white and I drew on top. So nice. And then put the gray on top and also the blue. Any color goes great on top of the white, but instead of mixing what's my inspiration or my path was using play with the black stains or white stains, and the black blocks and then draw on top of it. And also I have done it on graphic recording sometimes to enhance the black, the outliner, like to make it a bit shinier.
Yeah.
But
nice.
it's in exploration mode, I must say.
Love it. And so your question was about mixing. I love that you're layering. And I didn't really think
Exactly.
about mixing myself because I knew in my head they would be pastel colors. And I'm not a pastel color person. So when Guido made those 2 blog posts, and I love the question that someone just wrote in there, why is the ratio of ink to cover different for ocean than berry? And as I was mixing, I kind of played with the ratios a little bit, and there's not much of a difference. It's just about, you can add more ink if you want it a little bit darker, or add more cover if you'd like it a little bit more white. I don't know why, but I just know that it can be, you can change it. There's nothing really scientific about
Yeah.
this particular thing. Like when I start mixing colors and I want to make a green or a purple or an orange, then the colors have to be a little bit more exact. But I think my experience with this ink and the cover has been, you can vary it a bit. It's all still in the pastel range. But what do other people think?
Yeah, and also to prevent from the pastel, it's why maybe I thought of layering, because it really brings brightness to the
Yeah.
top color. It's brighter even if you use it on a blank in a white paper, but the ink of the undercover, it's the art cover, it makes the top color shine more.
Right. Great. That's excellent answer. Super. Anyone else have any questions? Or Excel, have you had any experience mixing these colors or playing with the cover marker at all?
Um, uh, uh, Color mixing, no. I'm boring. I'm just very business and very fast, and I don't make it to. Yeah, I'm really that kind of graphic recorder, I think. But I use the whites. So the white cover I use for 2 things: to cover mistakes. So sometimes I make a mistake and I cover it with black, and then I write on top of it. So that's something I do. And the other thing is to make, I use a lot of the black, the big one, and I use the whites to make it a little bit, to give like a little bit of lines in it, and so make it a little bit more, I don't know, playful is not the word, but to bring a little bit more life in the black letters. That's what I
Yeah.
do. But what I think is that sometimes the white, it doesn't come out really white. That's the only issue I had very often. So that I wanted to have, like, I did it always with the acrylic before, with the painting, and that worked really well also for covering mistakes. But
Yes.
with the white cover markers, it sometimes became, it doesn't, it's like it doesn't stick well on the black or something, and it becomes gray, and then it's not really beautiful. So I'm playing with it, and I started enthusiastic, but then I had a few, but I always work on foam board, so it can be, or very often, so it can be that that's the case, because I'm very often not working on paper. So that's maybe the reason why. I don't know.
Well, and I love that you made that distinction, that it's not quite opaque like the acrylic.
Yeah.
And so I have a little bit of like wonderings and guessings of why we did this. I've been asking Guido for years. First, I asked him, I want a big nib, like the big fat, like the big one, but I wanted it in brush, and he said that it was physically impossible. Like by physics, it's impossible to get the ink to run down the tip. And I said, well, you're an engineer, I bet you'll figure it out. So 6 years later, he came out with it, which was like, yay, we have this now. And I said, okay, when is it going to come in white? Because there's no acrylic. And he said, well, acrylic definitely can't make it down. And so he knew that I had gone around and bought up a bunch of the old white ink that we had, but remember, you'd write with it and then it would show up. It was weird.
Yeah.
And so he reformulated it and then came out with this. And I was like, yay. And I didn't really mind that it wasn't opaque. Like that didn't bother me. I never saw it as a correction fluid. I just knew I wanted white on other colors or black. And then when he came out with the article and said, this is opaque, I didn't know he wrote the article. And I wrote Michelle and I said, you have to stop calling this opaque, because people don't think it's opaque. And we kind of had this back and forth. She's like, but it is opaque. And it's like, well, it's not transparent, but it's not opaque. It's not acrylic opaque. And there are other products out there that are even more opaque. And so we agree And Brandy came up with this word. It's semi-opaque, right?
It's semi-opaque.
It's semi-opaque. This is what, like,
You can say that confidently.
we can say it confidently. I don't know if Neuland would like us saying it, so we have to
It's
clarify.
accurate.
But it is accurate, right? Yeah, Martine.
I have the feeling when you mix the white with the ink, like ocean, it becomes more opaque.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, it's still,
For a moment, then
it makes the pink opaque. It makes the,
It
like,
it makes it
the
brighter,
ink.
maybe.
Yeah, it makes it more solid.
this one, no?
Yes.
It's like on black paper. This is the mixing, the blue mixed with cover ink, and it's opaque.
Yes.
More than the white only, because
Right. It's like adding the ink. I see what you mean. We're saying the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. It makes the ink more opaque. Yeah. It can still get a little thinned out, but yeah. These are great noticings. And this is what I was having these, when I got stuck, I was having all these questions. I was like, is anybody in the world experiencing this? And I knew that if Guido was going to put out this product, we needed to talk about how to use it. And the way to find out is by going to the people that are using it, right? So we're sort of the voice as ambassadors and tool masters. So I love that, Martine. Thank you for
it's live because I think it's too slow. And for instance, if you want a real white on black, you have to go over of an opaque white. You have to let it dry and go over again to get it real white. And I don't have time in graphic recording.
Yeah.
I don't have the time for that. So,
however, you could use the acrylic. This isn't white, but you could use the acrylic white. But what we found with this is you got to shake it, you got to pump it. Sometimes it leaks, but it's really white.
Yeah, that's React, but I don't. I don't use it for reasons of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I love that. I'm very, maybe you don't know, but I'm a super fan of Brandy, and I'm happy to have her here. And she always brings new words. I have like my own words learned by Brandy, so bringing that semi-opaque makes total sense for me because I collect Brandy's words. But to me, that quality of semi-opaque is what made me think of layering, because it's like if we think of really covering, maybe it's not the tool, but for layering, I have another little example with the moderation cards. I don't know if you see them, these little dolphins and on waves. So I use the metallic for the background, or the blue is the metallic blue, which I really love. And then I play with the white, and it could go whiter or not, but definitely it has to, if for graphic fastness of graphic recording, it's not for the moment. Maybe it's for retouches, or like Excel, say, for making things more playful or make things, but the capacity of layering, to me, it brings inspiration, because I also like using the fine liner, the fine black line to draw on top of it. So to me, it's kind of like creates like areas of work, fondos, I would say in Spanish, which it's not backgrounds, but like surfaces to draw on top.
Could you hold that up again? And maybe
sure,
even
sure.
if you can we can if you would post that in Padlet, because
the white, I will.
That black really makes everything pop, and that white gives it that highlight. And I love that you use the metallic, because I immediately went to metallic, started testing it, and it made the metallic dull, but then it also brightened the white somehow. So there's a lot of chemistry that's happening in the mixture of these inks. And I think in one of his blogs, Guido, hi Sandra, welcome.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll put the Padlet link.
6 p.m. It's not.
Yes. Sorry.
No problem.
I'm gonna put the link to the Padlet. So we're just talking about how the inks mix. And I was just saying that the outliner really makes everything pop. The white, though not completely opaque, you know, adds an extra layer, a highlight, that kind of thing. And so yeah, we were talking a little bit about what do you like most about the cover ink and mixing it with other Neuland inks. And so yeah, any other thoughts people had as Elena was sharing? Brandy, if you're talking, we can't hear you. And you're not muted. Darn it. Okay, not sure. She's run out of battery or something. I think she can hear us though. Oh, nope. There we go. Is that it? No. No. Well, while Brandy's getting it together, did anybody else have any burning questions or burning ideas or thoughts that came up?
I was reflecting, listening very interested with a lot of interest about what you were saying about layering. Never thought about layering. If anything, I'm trying to avoid that. One of the things that I love about Neuland colors is that they are so clean, and the moment you overlap two strokes, you see it. So it's very easy to see who's an expert drawer and colorer, if you want, someone who can color big areas or even small areas versus someone who's doing it for the first time. And so clean strokes can really make your image pop. And so I never thought about layering. So for me, this is already fantastic to think about. It's an entire new world to explore. So I started to do some very horrible, and I have done no exploration at all on these colors, I admit. This is the only thing I started doing now. Inspired by Elena, I try to put the colors together. So there's a metallic background, white on top, and just my favorite, the outliner, the fine one for the black. Doesn't look at all like Elena's work, as you can possibly imagine. But
No,
something
no,
that
no. It's great. It's
But we
great.
have to try these things. We have to get it in
Yeah.
our hand and
Absolutely.
try them. This is great.
And if you allow me a second, Francesco, the thing is that the black background, it's the most challenging because see, I have shown you in I have drawn on white and on this ochre. So the black background, sometimes it's kind of like where we go to, but it's the most challenging. It really needs like more experimentation because it's the most challenging. That's why I stayed a little bit conservative. You see, with the background colors, I wouldn't go straight to black because it's more challenging indeed. That's my point.
No, and I love that. Thank you for sharing me. And somehow that confirms. So I love a good challenge. What I was thinking, so a little bit on the lines of Excel, she was saying, business oriented, I need to be quick, I need to be fast. Sorry, Martin, I didn't notice your hand. I'm just gonna wrap up the thought and pass it to you. For me, in a way, I am okay. I'm not doing layers because of cleanness. I tend to be fast. I don't do so much graphic recording as much as visual facilitation. So it's often posters that I draw beforehand. And so for me, in a way, I love the challenge of the black. I want to explore that. And a line that looks like this, which almost looks like chalk, or that reminds me of if you have grown up in a city along the sea, you would probably see a lot of people drawing with the daily price of the sea of the fish using an ink that looks a little bit like this. So it's blurry, it's messy, it's imprecise, but I kind of love that. Reminds me a little bit of a blackboard. And I was looking for the chalk kind of marker, but I can't find it. I was planning to use it today. Anyway, my hope for today was to explore a little bit posters done precisely with a black background that I've never done in my life. I had this paper for 2-3 years, never used it. Said today is the day. Sorry, Martin.
Thanks for being open about that. Yeah, Martin.
Yes, I was wondering if anybody had seen a little video Guido posted today on Facebook. So what he did, he took the the big one, the art marker, and then he took a new one. First, the point, he made some cuts in it. I cannot explain it, but you need to do first a cut in the point and then fill it, because otherwise with the cover it won't work. But he arrived at something to make very easily little dots. And I thought that was very interesting to use. And maybe I will do the same with some other markers, just the normal markers. And I think it would be interesting, for instance, with the pale blue, to have quickly filling the space with dots. So Guido posted the video today.
Okay, I'm looking for it. If anybody can find it, please put it in the Padlet, because I think that's something that would be good for us to
I will
collect.
try to find it. Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that video. The instant texture it creates by carving into the nib. And I know, Heather, you've done nib. You've
Yep.
altered
I
nibs
hack them all
too.
the time. Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote in the chat, I just really appreciate my mind immediately went to black and white as soon as I saw this pen come out. And I totally appreciate what folks are saying about, you know, tools are useful as long as they don't get in the way of your objective. You know, what is your role? What is it you're trying to do? And we have extremely unique needs when we're working live. So just seconding what folks are saying about yeah, this is great, but we know we're drawing probably faster than anyone else ever. So, you know, I'm looking forward to figuring out like what exactly are the right use cases. And a shout out to Elena. As soon as she showed the sheep, you know, instead of thinking black and white, thinking about what mid-tone colors to use the white on. You know, I know Kelvy, you know, there was a point where Kelvy started using more craft paper as her background. It was about pulling out using white and black. And one thing I do like about this particular tool for that kind of application is I am never going to use any kind of powdery kind of chalk in a room. I don't even like pan pastels, you know, which have a little bit more moisture. It's too messy, But I like that if I'm using a mid-tone color or craft paper, that this does give me enough of a contrast, even if we might hold it to a different standard, you know, the opaque versus semi-opaque. I do appreciate that, especially using a mid-tone color to be able to use that white fast and it not being messy for me or for the room I'm working in.
I love it. Sandra, you're muted.
I tried it on cardboard. Have you ever tried it on cardboard? I tried it on cardboard in different ways. In my blog, I'm looking for these blog postings to show you, because I don't have it at hand, because I gave it away as a giveaway. So I can share it because I like the idea to use cardboard. I ordered so much things online, so I have a lot of cardboard at home, a lot of Amazon cardboard, and I started using just the white one on cardboard. I can share it now. So here, I think perhaps you have seen it on Instagram. This was this cardboard. I use it for this. Is it a dice? No.
Yeah.
Black. Just wait. Comes some. So just the cardboard, and I like the effect. So the white on cardboard, because I always try to work with black flip charts since they invented them for us. But it was always a problem to take photos, because the camera always says, oh, let me do, oh, there's something black. I'd like to do this in gray. I can show you the gray. I said, no, this is a black flip chart, dear camera. Please show it in black. And this is always a problem to take photos from it and to share these. And people often don't recognize them as black flip charts. So yeah, I'd like the idea to do something on on cardboard. And this was a dice to decide some questions for checkout and to use this. And that was the idea. And the other idea was to have these signs for demonstrations in Germany at this moment. So I will use this cardboard too to show people how to work with these big markers and white for shadowing. And yeah, this is, but it's I haven't done any mixing, and I have some ideas, but I had no time. Yeah.
And it takes time. And please post, if you don't mind, please post those in the Padlet for all of us to
Yes,
see,
you can
because
do.
there's
Yeah.
because I know we'd love to see those. And I just thank you for sharing that Facebook video. If we can also share that out to other folks too. I put it on the Padlet, but I think it's just great to let people know, because my big question that I ask myself every time I pick up a new tool is, what is this tool designed for? And what else can it do? And I think that that's what we're here to find out, what it can do. And I think we have, like Brandy and Francesco both illuminated that we have a very specific role as a visual practitioner. How can we use it there? And then how are other ways? We're learning, Elena, you love doing all this layering, and maybe that wasn't something that Francesco was thinking about, but now that we've come together and seen what's possible. And I think what Neuland, I'm just guessing, but what Neuland, the company, would like most is repeatable things that people can get, kind of expected results. And if we do some of the reliability, that's right, that when you pop open this marker, that what's going to come out of it, right? And so I learned very quickly, and I don't know that it says here how to store it, but I was storing them like this, like we normally do. And then I think I read somewhere, or Michelle told me, that they need to be stored sideways until you're ready to use them. And then a few minutes before, put them up. And I thought, well, that's kind of a funny way to do it. Like, okay. But I was noticing, because I live in a very dry area, that my markers were getting gummy, like gum. It was goopy coming out. And it was because I was storing them like this, and they were also drying. Once I started storing them horizontally and then putting them up, the ink wasn't drying on the nib. And just a couple of other quick tips: if it does get goopy, or if it gets dirty, all I'm doing is taking a tissue and squeezing it, and that kind of cleans it. And if it gets too goopy or too dirty, I just run it under some water and squeeze it a few more times, and that cleans the nib. And of course, replacing it will too. But if you just, I know that seems like an extra step, but it was a really quick fix, is what I've found. And I've used this nib on top of a ton of other colors and haven't changed it yet, and it's still really clean. So just from cleaning it that way.
Yeah,
Any other
same here.
Yeah.
Same here with the using it on top and then cleaning. What I have done it in graphic recording, I'm super fast as well, and for me it's challenging again, like and I don't like pastels either, because I would be like in an Indian festival after using them for sure. But what I have done, it's sometimes it's like, if I have like drawn like a dark line to hold like a big container after like a group of information, and then it's too dark, maybe it's blue and it's too dark and it pops out too much, I put the white on top and it's like a lighter blue, so it recedes. So it's like a tool to change your mind about making things stand out too much, like in the moment, yeah, it's super important, and then so it has been quite helpful on that as well. It's not covering it, but making the container a bit lighter.
Yeah, because it's lower. You're knocking down the contrast, which is making those lines recede. Awesome.
Exactly.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And then what about going forward? How do you think we might share this with other folks, like what we're finding, either individually or collectively? Brandy, you said that you haven't mixed yet and that you would do an unboxing video. That's great. Mixing video, that's great. I think we could all do that. What else? What are some other things that people are thinking about doing, either individually or collectively?
So Sandra, your on the cardboard that was made with this marker, with the white marker, or not? The examples that you showed. Because, yeah, okay. Because when I see that, we are doing with a few colleagues a gig in Stanford next month. It's a big like reunion of former people who did a business school there. And apart from the normal graphic recording, I was also thinking of doing a kind of graphic recording in cards, like small cards. People always tend to want to take cards with them when they see them somewhere at an event. So I was thinking if we create them throughout the 3 days, like with quotes and small, like we create a whole collection of cards that the 400 attendees can take home. But I was thinking, how can we make it feel like consistent? Because if 6 people start drawing together, it will look very messy and very different. So by looking at your cardboard, I was thinking maybe if we all work on cardboard, I just have to find out how I get all that cardboard in Palo Alto. But anyway, by the way, if you have tips about that, Heather or Brandy, I don't know. Yeah. Where can I buy it? So that I was thinking maybe I can do that, and that's maybe something very nice to share also with the community. So if we create like a few hundreds of those cards with black and white on cardboard, it looks very consistent and looks very. So that could be something nice, because sometimes graphic recording in different form is also very nice.
Look at
so
Excel.
Just
This could, this could be maybe inspiring. This is a box I have to play. It's like, and maybe maybe this is too long, but like a box that it has not like the shape of a box, like mini boxes, like you could use like for different people, different sides. So see, this came with candles, and I love the box, so I have it here because I don't want to throw it out, because I think it's so beautiful, the box itself. So maybe using the faces of mini boxes that you can have them and playing or before you get there, or you get them something, then you with the mini boxes people can draw in different sides and build something with them.
Yeah, it's also something we can do. So thanks. So that's, and then I think that's something nice to share also, because it's like I said, I'm a pretty straightforward graphic recorder. Not so creative. But
I have two ideas for that. One is the idea that this works on cardboard very well, but the other sizes and nibs, they don't work very well. So this one, I think this is the normal, the number one is exhausted after 1 or 2 letters, and so for this reason I prefer this one. So this is one thing, and the other thing is that when you said you are doing a graphic recording, so has this graphic recording at the end to be on one piece, or can you divide it? So I have another idea from another event where I took part, so I have to show you this one. I don't know if you can see this. So this is wood. This is a piece of wood, and this here, not here, this was the whole thing, and they cut it into wood. So you can see on this side, they are doing this lettering art, and this was the graphic, so lettering art part, and then they cut it into pieces for every participant. And I said, oh, it would be nice. So this is a I don't know, this is a thick piece of wood. I don't know if you can see this. And what was great to have this from this event, so I put it into this. So, and I think I worked 20 years ago. I worked for a team to support teams. I made some workshops, and sometimes we made a piece of art and cut it into pieces to give everybody a piece of it. So everybody is a part of this. And so I thought, oh, good idea. If this graphic recording doesn't need to be complete at the end. So perhaps this is an idea to give the participants a piece of this graphic recording.
Yeah.
And on the other side, there's perhaps a quote, a special quote. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, for inspiring.
Hey.
Thank you.
Love it. Any other experimentations or anything that anyone wants to try? They're thinking about trying.
I have one question I haven't said to back up to that, and then just a general idea about how to share. I'm really curious about, and Heather and I, we were talking about this, how this works on different types of paper, and is there anything unique or special about Neuland's black paper specifically? Like, is it formulated specifically for their paper? I definitely want to like try, what I have from Neuland, like these Pinnock cards that were from Denmark, UViz in Denmark, and the flip charts. So that's just a question I don't know the answer to. I think there's something that like right now there's, of course, they just launched this marker. So I think we have a lot of like wanting to help get the word out. And this seems like a perfect like 3 months, 6 months later case studies.
Yeah.
When Excel can say, here's what we did with the cards at this event. Here's somebody who did, we were talking about the need for speed when we're doing graphic facilitation, graphic recording. And there's folks who do a lot, like I think what Sandra was showing in my vernacular, where Kelvy and I started out, we called it a knowledge wall, which is, a wall in the space that is built over time. So that is an application that is on site, but not as fast and live. So this would be really friendly for that kind of project. So I can imagine, kind of having a kind of like an anthology video of, several of us sharing a specific use case.
Love that.
But we need projects and time to do that.
Right. Exactly. And yeah, that's why this is no rush, and at the same time, however we can start sharing that out. And I like the idea of us having a type of anthology, because we can work at our own pace and then come together, like you said, 3, 6, 9 months down the line, and maybe even do updates. Maybe we if there's enough of us, we could do several of these. And it's not a lot of work to put something like that together. We could literally schedule let's do a live stream, and maybe 3 people share. And then 3 months later, 3 more people share. How do people feel about that? I'd be happy to host those, or if someone else can. I'm not attached to that. I do want to answer your first question about how these inks work with other papers, because I have so many calligraphers that follow me. They all ask, what is Neuland markers, right? And so I tell them, and I put together a little kit that had the big one, art, and then I think it was just the sketch one size, but in white, and then a metallic. And I sent out, I made these little kits, and I sent out kits with some stickers, and I put in all of Neuland's papers. So their regular pad paper, a pennant, so the this size, but in black, and also some other colors. And then I also put in a piece of Canson Métiers. So that's a Canson paper that a lot of artists use, because that's what calligraphers are used to. And then there's one more paper. It's called Black, and I believe it's French. Let me grab it. I have it here.
Yes,
it's by
great.
Fabriano.
I love it.
Fabriano, and it's the blackest black paper in the world right now. And I used the cover on all of the markers. And you know how you use something like that's white, and then whatever's on the paper will pick up and embed itself inside the nib. It did that with all of the art papers. So the dye that's in the art paper came out of the paper and went onto the nib, except for Neuland. And Neuland, somehow, I don't know if they purposely formulated it, but I'm not having any trouble with the black coming off the paper and back into the nib. Has anybody else had that experience or?
No, not
And
yet.
it make perfect sense that they'd be testing with their own paper, right? So they're going to keep on reformulating until you don't get that. So that tracks.
Yeah, exactly. But there's some chemical things happening, right? That we're already seeing, like the layering when we put white on top of not outliner, then it picks up or even shines through to the cover. And I don't know if any of you tried the one that Guido had in his thing where you put the color down first and then you put black on top. And then when you write over it with the cover, it picks up the color underneath. So this was something that Franziska from Germany, she's a tool master, we were playing around in a call and she discovered this. I don't know if she shared it with Guido or Guido already knew this, but she found it sort of on her own. So what I have here is I have the ocean at the top and the blackberry at the bottom. I went back over it with black and then over it with white, and that color came through. It's like a strange chemical reaction, which may or may not be of interest to anybody. You know, some people might use it all the time. Other people might be like, okay, that's a neat party trick, but not sure if you're going to use it in a graphic recording.
Das ist Günther, Guido, Harry Potter, Neuland.
Love it. Yeah. So these are the kind of things we're playing with. And yeah, so I love the idea of having maybe quarterly, here's what we've been working on. Yeah. What else? Other ideas?
Yeah, I think the Padlet is great for this because I love the structure of the Padlet, and we can be nurturing the Padlet.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted someone that I didn't realize.
No, I was starting to say something. It's not important. It was too brandy specific to be useful.
I want to show you this. I think, Elena, you have this, what is it called? This,
yeah.
So, and this
the
is,
one.
I like this paper because, yeah, I prefer it for flip chart as a flip chart. Flip chart is rough and looks always a bit gray. And this this roll of paper for this how is it called, Elena?
The Wally? The Wally?
The Wally, yes.
Yeah,
It's for the Wally. And I like this paper because it's so soft and feels so good.
I don't know what happens with Wally, but I draw with my drawings are better in the Wally. I don't know what happens in the Wally, but I draw nicer.
When I cut this in flip chart size and put it on if I need a black flip chart. So it's not that big as the bigger flip chart, but I like work on this paper because it's a bit thicker, I think, and it's blacker than the gray flip chart. Gray. And yes, and it's from Neuland, so it works with this. Yeah.
Are the pinnet cards, any black shapes in the pinnet cards the same paper as the flip charts? Or is it more like the Wally roll? It's different, it's a third kind?
The pinnet is like construction paper, so it's thicker.
Yeah, it's thicker.
Pinnet, Post-it, Instacard, I think those are all the same papers. And then the flip chart and the Wally paper, are those the same, Sandra?
No. The flip chart is not this is a gray. I think it's not as black as the Wally paper. And so I tried it out and I used, but it's black if there's, so yes, it's black, but
right.
if you can if you see both together, you see the Wally paper is blacker than the flip chart and a bit more not just thicker. Yes, just a bit. I don't know if it's 90 gram or 100. I don't know, but the flip chart is 80, always 80 gram per square meter, I think. And this is why I prefer this other black paper. But I wrapped all my gifts in the black flip chart paper last year, so I don't have. And I used the acrylic marker to make my own gift paper out of the flip charts, and so I just have this wally paper.
I have a small idea that maybe let me know what do you think? Like, since we have the Padlet as a shared space, and with the three areas of thinking, and how about, like, imagine that someone publishes something and whatever other person is doing and resonates, we can like do it like a co-publication or something. Like, okay, let's see it. Well, it's like Sandra is talking about the Wally, and then I publish something with Wally, and then I see Sandra and we connect and do like a shared publication. Like, it's like some sort of creative dialogues based on what we see on the topics. Not, and maybe not just two people or three. Like, if we're publishing things that are connected, just share with the other person. How about publishing together? Or I publish and I tag you, or we publish together on do like cross-selling somehow.
Yeah.
It's not selling the thing, but cross creativity.
Yeah, I
Like,
usually think of
maybe, yeah.
I usually think video because it's storytelling and it's telling case studies of like how we use it in the room with clients. And what you're describing, like if we scan different pieces, like a downloadable PDF where like a lot of us could reference it, and like it's a very shareable file.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
so we can all, yeah.
Absolutely. I love
Excellent.
that. And sometimes I had a student that asked me, should I buy a Wally? And I said, well, how do you usually work? And they usually worked in flip charts. And I said, why do you want a Wally? Like, what are some of the features that you get excited about? And they just said, well, I just like the, nonstop, endless paper. And I said, okay. And do you want to, I started asking all these questions, and she ended up deciding that she didn't want a Wally at all. She actually wanted a pin board. It was like, that's two completely different things, right? And so sometimes we work in one format and we want to find out how other people are working in other formats. The Wally and the pin board are very popular in their little sectors of people who use them, but some other people don't even know that they exist, or they don't even think about working in that format. Yeah, so I think it's great. I mean, when you say selling, it's kind of like selling. What you're really doing is you're educating people of, these are the features, here's why I use it. And when people can see a use case for it, then yeah, they're going to be more apt to buy it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm not getting like kickbacks for individual selling. For selling stuff.
No, I was just using the word, since cross-selling is more popular. It's like creating a cross something issue, like connected to that concept.
I love
Elena,
how open.
Another,
yeah, go ahead.
Cross-pollination. Another addition to, right?
Exactly. Yes.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And Francesco, I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot here, because you first responded with the email of, I don't know, I'm kind of just learning all of this. And look, you've already embraced some ideas that Elena gave you. Behind you, you've already got a flip chart. I don't know when you did that. Like, that just must have happened in the last couple of minutes. Like, embracing these new things, we want to encourage that for everyone, right? So thank you for being brave and sharing that. Great. Well, I want to respect everybody's time. Want to remind everybody to go to the Padlet. Anything else that you'd like to share to inspire others, or any burning questions you might have before we leave here?
I guess I'm thinking about, I know it's so easy for us to think about our most constrained scenario, which is drawing really fast. And, already I'm thinking about, okay, I might not use this large scale live in a meeting, but if I know I'm doing an exercise and we need titles or signs for areas, perfect, great. That is the pre-work. high contrast, really dramatic. If I'm using black and white, again, that was my default thinking. So just appreciating it's easy to say no to a tool when it doesn't meet your most rigorous needs. And then it's like, okay, what else can it do? Like you said earlier. Yep.
Love it.
What was it designed?
Absolutely.
I love your questions. What was it designed to do, and what else can I do with it?
What else can do? Yeah.
If I can add to what you just said, Brandy, I love all Neuland products with one exception, which are these ones. I never found any use for this. And when you buy, and when you, so if you start working on, I like the white version of the flip charts. When you put this on top of a white flip chart, they just look horrible. They are grayish. And in the pack of all the colored ones, just to give you a sense of the proportion, now you know them, but there's a lot of the white ones. I didn't know what to do with them. The pink cards, yes. And now I know what to do.
Yay! And I buy those by the hundreds, the white ones. I have
What do you do with those?
I'm gonna make a video about it.
Yes, please.
I fold them in half lengthways. Look, I have one right here. I fold them in half this way, and I make nameplates for each of the participants because they stand up and they're nice and thick, and so they don't bleed through. And yeah, so I just make, and this is my nameplate, and sometimes, and because this is very popular in lettering, when you get to lettering class, your name is already written. Like it's already pretty, and that's the lettering style you're going to learn. So these are, for me, these are nameplates. So I make tons of these. I make them all day long. Like little kids come to my studio and I write their names and they're like, I'm going to save this forever. Okay. And then I find it in the trash or in the floor 5 feet away. But anyway, yeah, there you go. There's your hand lettering kit. So yeah, so they make great nameplates if you need to make nameplates.
Okay, thank you.
I love it.
Any other idea? Oh no, this was not the page of the comments. If you have any other idea for these, please do share.
But if you want to put these on flip charts, I would prefer the sticky notes or aesthetics. Yes, I would prefer these ones because they are white and I love to use them.
And I have one more idea for Excel. If you decide to go with cardboard that is the corrugated, because I know you might be deciding whether the flat cardboard or this kind of cardboard. I love cardboard because it's not precious, right? You can dumpster dive. You could literally find cardboard and there are cardboard recycling dumpsters where they're all clean cardboard if you wanted to put somebody on that case. But something fun to do with it is to tear off parts of it so there's a bit of a reveal. So maybe in the corner of the cardboard box or something like that, you can do that to make it a little look rougher, and then people don't feel like it's this precious thing. Yeah, and it could be a little bit more.
It feels more sustainable somehow, because I feel really bad about all the foam core we're using. Yeah. Okay, that's exactly nice. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Oh, nice. Thanks. Thanks, Brandy, also. Yeah.
Wonderful. Anything else? Anything you want to add?
Well, a big thank you, and so happy to see you all and have this connection so for so long, and meeting Francesco also. It's great. And Martin, I hadn't seen you for so long as well. Excel, it was almost 2 years already, not a year and a half. And so I think it's great. It's so rewarding. Like, to me, it's a beautiful, like, finishing of the working week and starting the weekend. It's so beautiful, so thankful. And also because I had all these ideas, but I had them a bit stuck as well. So super thank you, Heather, for putting them, and everyone for sharing. Absolutely.
And please keep sharing on the Padlet. I'll put the recording to the video and the chat on the Padlet, and we're going to meet, I believe, in March. Is it like sometime in March? In 2 weeks. Okay, that's fast. So we'll meet in 2 weeks. So please bring some of the things that you've been working on, and let's talk more about how we can co-publish and maybe make an anthology. All of those, we can talk about that in the next session. So maybe even spend some more time meeting with each other. So thank you, everyone. So great to see you all.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Happy weekend.
Happy weekend.